Hello Warfighters, war is hell. It's become a tradition that at the beginning of every year, I take some time to reflect on what has transpired over the past year, think about what went well, what didn't, and develop goals for how I can improve. I like to share these with you so you can chime in and provide me some guidance for what types of things you would want to see. So for this video, I'll share with you some of the things that I tried on this channel this year. I'll also share those things that did go well, the things that didn't, and of course the things that I want to focus on for 2021. I also, though, want to end this video with letting you know how you can help me this year. So hang out with me throughout this entire video to get some in-depth information on the channel. Also, if you have input or suggestions, please comment in the comment section below. I'm looking for trends from all of you with regards to what I can do, and obviously your same matters. So as I mentioned, I did a lot of experimenting throughout the year with mixed results. Some of the things you probably noticed, others you likely didn't. For example, you may have noticed that I tried a few different kinds of thumbnails, ranging from what I'm using right now to just the screenshot with no text on it, and just some other styles. Now, every style did have its pros and cons, but what I'm working with right now has proven to be the best, so I'm likely going to stick with that. Who knows, I'll probably experiment more sometime in the future when it comes to thumbnails, but you know, I was also working on things like new titles and descriptions just to try to see what was impacting the amount of views that I was getting. That stuff matters with YouTube, and obviously I have to be trying new stuff to make sure I'm doing the best thing possible. Now, I've also been experimenting with different ways to use social media to showcase the channel. Some of you have seen that I've been making YouTube shorts and doing YouTube stories to increase the exposure of my videos. And YouTube Shorts, if you didn't know, is an up-and-coming feature that YouTube is starting to release. I think it's just in India right now. But in the YouTube circles, it's been showing an increase in viewership and will likely become a competitor with TikTok sometime in the future. Therefore, you'll be seeing me do more of these types of videos. Again, it's just been experimenting at this phase, but I think I've got some stuff down. So in 2021, you should be seeing some more of these YouTube Shorts and obviously adding to my stories as well. Speaking of TikTok, though, I started one. I've been hearing from a lot of people in the YouTube circles that having a TikTok to support your channel is really good, and I've started posting some stuff on there. So if you are on TikTok, I could use a follow. The link is in the description below. But these platforms, I'm just showing short clips to showcase a pretty fun video that I've done, or to try and build some excitement for a video that I will be releasing soon. Just kind of like a little preview. I mean, don't worry though, I won't be getting away from Twitter, which is where I spend most of my social media time. And I know a lot of the Arma 3 community seems to be on Twitter primarily as well. So again, I'm not going away, just kind of adding more to what I'm doing with YouTube, and then also adding TikTok into the mix. I've also got my Instagram too, so you can follow me at any of those. But one of the biggest things that I learned throughout the year through this experimentation really came with including other games in the videos that I show you guys. Frankly, what I learned is that other games just don't work. I mean, in fact, it seems like that by playing other games and posting it on this channel, it has hurt the channel more than it has helped. Actually, far more than it has helped. And so my thought process was that adding some additional games to the channel would expand the channel's reach. I'd be showing up higher in some of the more sought after searches. So basically, like with Star Wars Squadrons, when that came out, just trying to rank higher in something like Star Wars or Star Wars Squadrons. Same thing with some other games too. But since most of you guys are here for Arma content, people weren't watching and engaging with those videos, and so that brought down the average views per video that I had on the channel, which hurt me in the YouTube algorithm. And at the same time, it also confused the YouTube algorithm about what it should be showing people based off of their searches. For example, if you search War is Hell, it's like, okay, do I show Arma content? Do I show Star Wars content? It just wasn't helpful for me at all. So for 2021, I will be playing Arma exclusively on this channel unless it's a game that supports a story like alternate history. I'm really gonna try to stick to this. Maybe I will play something just out of the blue to keep things fun, but just so you know, from 2021 on, it's just gonna be Arma content. Now, some of you have also noted and have seen that I haven't been streaming despite that being a goal from 2021. As I keep reflecting on streaming and experimenting with different ways to stream, I just feel like that Arma is not a great game for streaming. It's not a slight on the game in any way, but If I'm playing a mission with a milsim unit, for example, and I need to focus on watching a sector, I can't engage with you guys. Nor if I'm engaging with you guys, can I be fully engaged with the mission. Similarly, if I spend 10 minutes walking from one objective to the next, I think people would rather watch other content on Twitch or YouTube that is more exciting and entertaining than watching me walk and hang out with the guys that I'm playing with. Now, I might try to do some streams here or there where I am making missions to see how that goes, because I've had some success with streaming that in the past, but I just can't see myself streaming milsim operations in the future. I just don't see it working out. Now, that's been most of the things that I've learned from some of the experiments throughout the year, and hopefully that lets you know a little bit more about why some things might be changing or why some things happened throughout the year. But now I want to move on to the positive stuff, so the things that I did well this year. The biggest thing I can think of is I've really been able to build some relationships this past year, which some of you know is one of the most rewarding parts of my channel. Some of these relationships have been with new patrons, the great guys at Arma Hosts. I've gotten to know Justin Waters a lot better, and he's absolutely amazing and super supportive. In fact, everybody over there in the company has just been fantastic. I mean, thank you guys. I've also been connecting with new milsim units, with players in those units, which is great. And also Viper10. If you haven't checked out Viper's channel yet, I highly recommend heading over to his channel and subscribing. He does a great job finding and sharing different mods in the Steam Workshop for Arma 3, and he goes farther in depth with them than what I do. I really appreciate his work. I think it's great for the community to be getting exposure to a number of different mods. He does great work, and he is a great person. One of the things I really appreciate about him is we're a couple of guys at similar points in our lives who have the same views on why we do YouTube. I mean, this is a hobby. This is something that we love, and it's really great to have another Arma YouTuber that I can collaborate with. I know I could bounce ideas off of him, and we both believe that YouTubers like ourselves aren't competitors in any way, but we're comrades who just enjoy playing the same game and sharing our experience with you. So Viper, if you're watching, you're the man, and just getting to know you a little bit has been one of the highlights of the year for me. Now, another great thing for this year is I've started a couple new series that I would consider successes. For example, the Top 5 series was brand new this year, and it's been released to try and answer some of the questions that I get from people about, hey, which mod should I use in this different scenario, and allow me to share my insight on other topics related to Arma. It seems that the Arma 3 mods videos seem to draw in the most views, but at the same time, the Arma 3 tips parts that I do tend to be some of my favorite videos to work on, as I can be more conversational with you and talk about some of the things related to Arma 3 that mods just don't get to cover. For example, talking about what makes a good Zeus. And that was kind of more of a podcast style, which was fun. I'd love more opportunities to kind of do something like that in the future. Now, I'll continue to incorporate both Top 5 Arma 3 mods and also Top 5 Arma 3 tips, as it seems to be a series that is enjoyed by many of you. It's fun for me to do. It attracts views. I really can't think of any reason why I would want to stop doing it at this point. I also started the Resolute Alliance campaign this year, which is the World War III 2035 scenario. Now, this has been pretty well received by many of you. Those of you who've been around for a long time know that I started something like this years ago on my old YouTube channel called Resolute Alliance. And the whole premise of that was there was no known outcome of the missions, and consequences really did matter. Essentially what I would do is I would take one mission, I'd build it, I'd play it out, and then depending on the outcome of it, it would determine how I make the next mission. I love doing that, and that's really influenced how I am doing Resolute Alliance now. I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing it back then, it really wasn't that great, especially as I'm watching it now, but that's okay because I've learned a lot and I've grown as a mission maker since then. By the way, chapter 2 of that is coming soon. I've actually been working on that today, so yes. Another success is I've been able to grow with Patreon this year, which has been fantastic. Met some great people through that, and I really do appreciate the support. I do mention this in every single video, but I really could not do this without their support. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate you, and I want to do a lot for you guys here in 2021. Already working on some stuff there too. Oh, almost forgot. As part of this section, I like to look at videos from the past year and come up with what my favorite video was and the one that I'm the most proud of. So this year, the video that I really enjoyed the most, and there was a lot of great videos and moments to choose from, but I'd have to give this one to the video called "This is the most wholesome Arma session I've ever played," which is where my 7-year-old son and I just played a quick mission together. I'm just Zeusing something for him on the fly. It was really cool to be able to have that experience with my son and get to share it with you guys. I mean, it's great just playing with him in general because he's my son and I like spending time with him, but it's really cool seeing him get excited about things in Arma that I've just gotten used to. It's all brand new for him. Plus, he was super excited to be on YouTube, so I got to be a little bit of a hero there for him. So that was my favorite video. But this year, for the video that I'm the most proudest of, that is a lot harder. Usually, I give this award to a video where I just accomplished something in there, you know, whether it was through scripting or something else. I'm just like, dang, that took a lot of work and it came out really, really well. A lot of the videos that I usually spend a lot of time on, though, where I have to build that stuff, I didn't do as much this year, partially in part to the people who've been helping me with Zeusing, rather than just having me make the mission myself. So I'll just set up a template, they'll hop in, and I'll kind of tell them what we need to be looking at, and then they'll just make it on the fly. I mean, it's fun for me, but I don't get as much time to spend working on the videos themselves. But I would say that one thing I am very proud of this year is kind of helping out with TFO and being part of a milsim unit that does incorporate a major focus on storyline into their missions, where it's almost based purely on the decisions that we make. So that story is determined by what we actually do. And I've been in plenty of units in the past, and I've made some of these types of campaigns myself, where the story for a deployment is already written out beforehand. The mission outcomes have been decided weeks in advance, long before they take place. And it's just nice being in a place where I can make suggestions about how we drive a story and making things more engaging, and that being considered and implemented. There's a lot of role play elements, for example, that we've tied into this, doing a lot more as far as how we're executing missions and how that's going to tie in to, you know, the short-term and long-term aspect of the story. It's been fantastic, and I look forward to continuing to do that in the milsim series and just milsim in general. Okay, so that was a lot of good things. Now I got to talk about the part that I like to talk about the least, but it's important that I reflect on it, and that is the things I did not do right this year. And obviously, every YouTuber is going to tell you that they make mistakes, that they learn. Again, it's important that I reflect on that. So one thing that I mentioned already was trying to diversify my content by playing different games. I understand that Arma is a niche game and it has multiple niches within it, and it's really hard to build traction with this game and grow a channel with this type of content. I just thought that adding what I could with different games would help the channel as a whole, but it really took up a lot more time than I would have liked, and it didn't yield any results. I'm just going to continue pushing through this, just knowing that Arma is not really for people to get huge on making the type of content that I do, and that's totally okay. You know, it's all about me having fun in the end, and you guys having fun too, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the biggest place that I went wrong this year is with managing my time. As many of you know, this year has been really hard for me to try and find a balance with all the life priorities that I have. I had full-time work, full-time school, family, wife and 4 kids, and this YouTube channel. Often I'd get 4 or 5 hours of sleep trying to do it all. And obviously, work, school, and most importantly, my family will always take precedence over the YouTube channel. I had to cut some corners to get some videos released or try to keep some semblance of a normal schedule on the channel. The video series, though, that I do take the most amount of time in creating, which is Resolute Alliance and Alternate History, really took a hit this year. It takes many hours to build each mission, and I couldn't make them as I would have liked. So I'm really grateful that I had people, you know, whether it was Blacklight, Wolf, Waters, Pitts, a number of other people too, that have really done a lot to help me make these missions so you guys could see them and really trying to make my life easier. I appreciate that. But I do know that I did drop the ball right there in producing some of that content, and especially getting it out in a regular fashion. Now, we're going to see how things go for me here through this next year. I'm glad to say that I've graduated, but my MBA starts in a couple weeks. And while my course load seems to be lighter, there's also that increase of difficulty in classwork. So we're just going to have to see how that all goes. But just knowing that I didn't do well with this just means I might have to make some adjustments down the line. Now, another place where I dropped the ball this year and sacrificed due to time was the website that I created this year. Snackbar.me was created for the purpose of writing stories and blogging about some of the things that were happening with the channel. These stories were tied into the story-based series that you would see to try and just add more content. And it seems that some of you guys were coming by, reading those news stories or those articles, reading the blog posts, and you were finding little clues about what was going to happen next in the series, just little Easter eggs. But because I had so much going on, because I was writing so much for school, I just couldn't get to the point where I wanted to write, and unfortunately, I got out of the habit. Now, I haven't had too many people say that I need to keep going. Some people have, but I'm wondering how much demand that there is for me to continue on the website and expanding some of the stories. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. To help me save on time, I also did a lot more with milsim this year than I have with years in the past, and a lot of that is just due to the fact that I didn't have to make the mission. It was basically playing along and then going through and editing those missions. And I think I didn't do as well as I could have this year when it came to tying all the missions together to tell a single story. I just don't want those episodes to seem like that they are just one-off missions and aren't part of a larger story. That's definitely not the case. I will try and fix that this year and the years ahead too. I have a few ideas on what I can do to try and help build the story and kind of have each mission connect with each other. So I will appreciate your guys' feedback on that as I'm making those changes to know if it's working or not. So I think this is a good transition though right here to talk about, rather than the things that I failed on this year, to switch to what to expect in 2021 with some of my focuses and goals. I first off want to thank my Patreon supporters and those who are in my Discord who took the feedback survey that I posted to let me know how I'm doing and what I can improve. There is a lot of their feedback in what I'm going to be sharing with you below. Now, as part of the focus on just Arma content, I want to make sure that I have the common theme of being a storyteller in Arma and that my content reflects that. I think everyone can enjoy a good story, and that there's no better game to do that than in Arma, where the limits really are your own imagination. I have some ideas for stories that I want to tell, projects that I want to do, and I look forward to sharing those with you over the next year with this common theme that ties everything together about being the YouTuber who makes Arma 3 stories. To make my missions better, I want to do more with cinematics, mods, voice acting, music, and both audio and visual effects to be able to help tell that story. This is, of course, going to cost me money, which is why patrons have been critical so far in how I produce content. Naturally, I hope to continue to grow Patreon as well, so I can continue to have some of the funding that will be needed to use these in as many videos as possible and grow the quality of the stories. So I guess I should point out here, just as one example, there was a milsim operation that I did where I hired somebody from Greece to basically pretend to be Colonel Akanteros. That cost me about $30 to get him to say, I think it was 300 lines, because then I also had to pay for commercial rights and stuff like that. So when I talk about like voice acting and why Patreon helps, hopefully that kind of opens up the mindset here a little bit on what I'm up against when it comes to trying to implement that type of stuff and why Patreon is so important. Now, this year, I also want to be more engaging with each and every one of you. I'd like to get to know more milsim units and the people within them. Similarly, I would want to find ways to get my Discord more active. That's actually one of my biggest goals this year. I know that at times it gets really quiet, and I don't know if there are just too many channels and conversations that are stretched out between them, but I'd like to engage more in there and have people engage with each other in there more. I'll be thinking and talking it over with some of the admins on Discord about what we might be able to do to make it a better experience and foster some good conversation. Now, if you are in the Discord, which again is in the description below, and you have ideas on what I can do to make it better, please comment down below and let me know that. Another goal of mine has to do with events. I'm not sure how it will look quite yet, as I'm trying to just flesh out how time is going to be. Personally, it would be nice to attend a public event that a milsim unit might have and try to showcase some other units that are out there that way. I don't know necessarily the frequency, but that is something that I would like to do more. I just know it's difficult to hear about when public events are taking place. So I'll have to try and look to see what types of channels are there to get that information. Similarly, it would be fun to make some events for this community supporters. So I will be doing that in one form or another throughout the year. Just trying to build something for some of us to be able to get together and play on, to of course just feature on the channel and to hang out too. Okay, so the last goal that I have is an important one, and that is to focus on myself, take breaks when needed. 2020, especially the last half, like I told you guys, really took a toll on me just mentally and physically. I mean, I know I could do that in short stints, but I can't let that be the norm. I'm the worst at this because I'll offer help to others, but I'm just terrible at asking help for myself. Sometimes I just feel like I need to just gut through it all, that, you know what, it's okay. You're not invincible, but you'll make it through just fine. And that's pretty dangerous to have that kind of mindset. Not only that, but breaks can be rough for me because I know that if I don't post for a few days, people will ask me, hey Snack, when's the next video coming out? I get penalized in the YouTube algorithm as well because it looks for the frequency for which you post. And if you don't post to that frequency, then you'll start seeing less and less impressions being sent out, or your videos are basically not showing up as often for people. But I'll need to accept the fact that I need to feel comfortable taking breaks if I definitely do need them. Again, just with everything coming up though, with the NBA and stuff like that, I'll just have to see what I'm up against before I determine when I take a break. And of course, I'm going to communicate that with you guys. Okay. Now, for the last section, since I've gone over goals with you guys for 2021, and that is how you can help me. And I really appreciate the support that I get from everybody. I also appreciate questions like, hey, why don't you get more views and stuff like that. Basically, a lot of it comes down to a few things here. So the YouTube algorithm, or at least the specifics of it, are pretty hush-hush. Some things are widely known, though, about the algorithm, such as how a channel becomes more widely seen. I mean, the first and one of the biggest things is the percentage rate that a video appears and somebody starts watching it. So you can have something like 10% of your video, or 10% of the times that your video shows up in either the right hand part or on the home screen for YouTube, 10% of the time someone clicks on that. That's actually really, really good. That's a big driver. YouTube knows that if there's a video that people are engaging with and wanting to watch, that's going to generate more revenue for them. An even bigger one, though, is the duration for how long people stay watching your video. Now, the reason why that's such a key metric is the longer people stay watching a video, the more ads are going to show up and the more money that YouTube is going to get. So when I tell you guys, thank you for watching a video all the way through, it really does matter, and it's because of this. Now, I'm not saying click on every single video that you see of mine, because if you do that and then you don't sit there and watch it all the way through, that hurts my average duration that somebody stays on a video, and that will hurt me more. So the longer that you watch a video in a sitting, the more that it helps. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys can do to watch my videos longer, that's huge. But another place that's really important where you guys can help me with videos is with another metric called the engagement rate. Now, the engagement rate measures how many times I get a like on a video per the number of views and the number of comments that a video gets. When a YouTuber asks you to like the video and to comment, it's basically because of this. They want to get the engagement rate up. So basically what I'm asking you guys to do to help me is to please like a video of mine when you guys watch it, and please comment on something regarding the video too. Even if it's just a, hey Snack, I really like this video, that helps out a ton. Now, I'm going to post a question with each video to try and get some comments. So if you see one, please respond to it, or if you see something in the comment section that somebody else had said, feel free to respond to that too. You guys are really supportive of me, so again, I'm not worried about any of this at all, but I just thought it would be helpful to let you guys know some things you can do to help me and for the channel to grow. Okay, well, hopefully that lays out a little bit more about my review of 2020 of the War is Hell channel. It gives you a little peek on what you can expect in 2021 and why some things are going to change. Now, while 2020 was a good year for the channel, obviously not in real life was 2020 good, but I really look forward to what 2021 brings with each and every one of you. Thank you all for your kind words and for your support. All of you really drive me to continue to keep doing this, and it is such a great experience, so thank you. Now that you know, if you've watched this all the way through, thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Biggest thanks, though, goes to everybody at Patreon for supporting me, allowing me to do this. You guys really are fantastic. Their names should be showing up. We actually have a couple new people on here as well, which is great to see. I hope that we get to fill up this whole page, hopefully soon. But anyway, thanks again for watching, you guys. War is Hell. You don't have to worry because Warfighters, I've got your six.